Hello, my family. Happy 4th of July to everybody. I hope that everybody is having a safe and enjoyable weekend. This today, actually, I had a dear friend that stopped by and visited with me. I was so happy to see her and so glad to see she's doing as well as she is because this year she lost her husband to COVID-19. And there was a time when I was hell bent on not getting the COVID-19 vaccine. However, the Lord, in His mercy and compassion towards me, and in dealing with me kindly, we had a reasoning session. The word says, let us reason together. And I changed my mind. This woman who was hell bent on not getting the COVID-19 vaccine, um, even after I saw the impact it had on so many people's lives, those that passed on and those who loved them, who survived and were still here, I still was not convinced that this vaccine was for me. And so one of the things the Lord has taught me, family, um, and I sense Him saying it to me sometimes as a means of reminding me who I am and who He is. He'll let me know. He said, Felicia, you are not all knowing. That's one of my tools that He utilizes to remind me, keep the pride at bay and stay humble. You are not all knowing, Felicia. And so I don't know everything. And so Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Acknowledge Him in all your ways and He will direct your path. And so because of my ability to make messes in my health, messes in my relationships, messes in my life, I don't want to lean to my own understanding, but sometimes it's hard to know when I'm not leaning to my own understanding because I think that I've got the answer. I think that I know what to do. I think that I'm on the right path. And I know that many can think that too. It's just, I think, human nature. But in His reminding me that I'm not all knowing, it makes me circle back to Him and just clarify, just check in with Him to see if what I think is my understanding or what I know to be my understanding at the time, to check with Him to see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Because I have the possibility of being wrong. And I'll tell you, beloved, there are times when, I check in with Him, especially when it came to this COVID-19 vaccine, that I really wanted Him to tell me what I wanted to hear. I wanted Him to tell me, Felicia, you're right, so that I could move on and focus on other things. So I'm not here to tell you that you need to take the COVID vaccine. What I am here to do today is to share with you how He reasoned with me and how Papa changed my mind to go get my vaccine. And so the first thing was a simple trip to the nature park with my son one day. I've done a video on that. And I mentioned to you that on that day, we ran into a four-legged predator. It was a mountain lion. At least it was what it looked like. And so we made a beeline out of there. And I bless the Lord, He kept us, He protected us as we escaped from the predator. Because a four-legged mountain lion to an animal, a smaller animal, or even to a human could be considered a predator. And so we got out of there by God's grace and mercy. However, after that incident, the Lord taught me that there can be two-legged predators that come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And these two-legged predators have feet, and they too can mean me harm. So as I'm exercising and working out, I've learned different things to do to protect myself. He's taught me that he will prepare me with the provision to protect myself from the predator, the four-legged kind, the two-legged kind. But then Papa also showed me that there's also a predator that has no legs. In fact, it's invisible, and I cannot see this predator. Albeit, it is out there. And so, in order to protect myself from the invisible predator, has he made provision? Has he prepared a provision in order to protect me from the invisible predator, such as a virus? And so I had to ask myself if that is what this COVID-19 vaccine was. Had it been prepared as provision to protect me from the predator that could do me harm, the one that I cannot see? I'll be honest with y'all, I haven't gone back to that nature park because I don't want to bump into that four-legged predator. And now I do things when I'm out working out and walking, exercising, in order to protect myself from the two-legged predator, whatever shape, size, and color it could come in order to be safe. And so based on Ephesians 11, I sense the Lord say, I'm going to read 10 too. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So I had to ask myself, had I done all I can? In fact, I sense the Spirit of the Lord really ask me. I sense him say, Felicia, you wear your mask. Yes, Lord. Felicia, you social distance. Yes, Lord. Well, there is now a vaccine. Have you done all you can? And I had to answer, no, Lord, I have not. I have not done all that I can to stand against the wiles of the devil. I've not done that. And so I had to begin to really question, had I made the right choice? Or was I leaning to my own understanding regarding this vaccine? So there was the incident in the park, and then there was Ephesians 6 through 10 that made me begin to reconsider that maybe I wasn't making the right decision when I was hell-bent on not getting this vaccine. Now, my mama raised me, y'all, on Romans 8:28. Many of you know it. And Romans 8:28 says, let me see if I can find it here. It says, and we know that all things work together for good to those who love God, to those who are called according to his purpose. And this was the third verse that the Spirit of the Lord ministered to me in choosing to change my mind. You see, I had to allow the Word to do a renewing of my mind as it pertained to this vaccine. So, like I told you, I was raised on this one. And I believe the Word is like poetry, and y'all know I'm a poet. So this one is like a 3-line stanza to me. And we know that all things work together for good. Okay, I know that. Not some, not a few. He said all things work together for good. To those who love God. And I just sense the Lord say, do you love me, Felicia? Yes, Lord, I love you. To those who are called according to his purpose. And it was that third line, that third stanza, so to speak, that got me. You see, I am called according to his purpose. And I don't necessarily know the details of that purpose. I can't see that far ahead of me to know what the details are of the purpose that he has called me to. And so because I don't know the purpose, but I know that I have one, I sense the Spirit of the Lord leading me to ask Papa, could this COVID-19 vaccine help me to live out the purpose that you have called me to? You see, he also had me think about Abraham as he took Isaac up the mountain in order to kill him. And yet there was a ram in the bush. Could this COVID-19 vaccine be my ram in the bush? Could it help me to live out the purpose that he has called me to? I mean, that's what it says. To those who are the called, I am called to live out his purpose. But beloved, there are many who have gone before us who have been called on home. And I hope and trust that they have lived out their purpose. However, many were here when that vaccine was created. They've gone on home. However, that's not my story. The vaccine is here now. And so therefore, I have a choice as to what decision I make. Because I am called to do good work. I am called to do his will. And I believe that I am called to be well so that I can live out the calling of the purpose that he has on my life. So, again, am I telling you to go get the vaccine? No. I'm telling you to consider, for those of you who have opted not to get the vaccine, could you possibly be wrong in this decision? Could this be the wrong decision? Could you be leaning to your own understanding? And if you go and talk to Papa and he tells you that he has prepared, he has allowed this vaccine to equip you to live out the calling of your purpose that he has for you, are you willing to say, like our Lord said in the garden, okay, Lord, nevertheless, not my will, but thy will be done? You see, I had to ask myself, was I not getting this vaccine because I was afraid? Was I in fear? Was that my reason for not getting the vaccine? And so for me, I have tried really hard not to let fear to rule over me, because he didn't give us a spirit of fear. So I had to sit with him until I was on solid ground. And as I recognized that it was fear that was holding me back, I had just finished reading the book of Joshua. And I had read in Joshua 1:9 where Papa told me to be strong and courageous. He's told us all of that. He's told all of us that, to be strong and courageous. And so the day I drove to get my first dose of the vaccine, that's exactly what I asked him to help me be, to be strong and courageous, as I had changed my mind and decided to get it. And then this morning, the Lord reminded me of Psalm 91:10. No evil shall befall you, nor shall any plague come near your dwelling. Could this vaccine be part of how no evil shall befall me? I won't fall at the hands of this. The plague will not come near my dwelling because he dwells within me. My body is a dwelling. And so it was seeing the mountain lion. It was Romans 8:28. It was Ephesians 6:10. I had already made the decision to get it, so it was really those three things. He just reminded me of Psalm 91:10 this morning. And so I felt led to mention that. And then the fifth thing, it was thinking about Abraham taking Isaac up that mountain and having to really consider Was this vaccine my ram in the bush? And was I going to turn the ram in the bush away and wind up being the sacrifice when I could take the vaccine for me in obedience and live out my calling, live out my purpose that He has called me to? Because at the end of the day, beloved, I want to hear, well done, thou good and faithful servant. And I want to finish my purpose. I want to finish what He's called me to do according to His purpose for me. And so I believe now that He prepared the provision of this vaccine in order to protect me from the invisible predator that is COVID-19. So with that, I hope I've used my words well so that you can be wonderfully well. Again, I'm not telling you to go get the vaccine, but what I am telling you is to circle back, talk to Papa, make sure you're not leaning to your own understanding. Have a peace about it, whatever your decision is. But consider, could you be wrong? Is it possible? Allow Him to have the last word. Not your fear, not your doubt, nothing else. Allow Him to have the last word. And then listen and obey so that you can be well. All righty. I love you all. Enjoy the rest of your 4th of July weekend. Until next time, beloved. Bye-bye.